I meant to have my other computer here.
Hey, good people.
Hey. We are back.
Co-host.
We are back.
We are back in the building. Yes. Another beautiful Sunday. Happy Sunday, people.
Raining.
I know it's raining, but we need rain though. I haven't really seen like good rain in a minute, so I guess we need it.
Absolutely, and I feel like I got a head start now on the spring and to be planting flowers and stuff like that.
I know.
That'll be wonderful to see now that we're in a pandemic and we home. But welcome everybody.
Absolutely.
This is
welcome. Live. Absolutely. Welcome to our podcast. I am Ebony Nicole. She is
Matisa.
Welcome to Opinions. I hope you guys are having an amazing Sunday, even though it's rainy. It's rainy. Yes. So how was your weekend? How have you been, co-host?
My weekend's been pretty good. Like I didn't do what did I do? I went out to a restaurant. It was great. It was really a nice time. I went out to eat. I feel like I haven't been out since my birthday of more than a month ago. So I did that. I was cleaning up in the backyard. I had a damn pipe that burst. It didn't burst, but I had my whole house backed up because there's roots growing in my freaking pipeline, and that is expensive. Let me tell you, it's expensive. So I'm not getting the ground dug up because that's going to be like a $20,000 job to get the ground dug up and the roots taken out of the pipe. Mm-hmm. So I had to get the roots like cleaned out. Basically, they just put like a blast of water in there, clear everything out. The roots kind of flying. So what I'm going to do now is put some like root poison down there and hope for the best.
Do what it do.
Yeah.
That's how I'm trying to prepare myself from transitioning to, living in an apartment to a house, because they said it's not a game. I mean, it's beautiful, and all that, but it's a lot that comes with it. So I'm really trying to
It is a lot, but I feel like it's worth it. Like
it's worth it.
I feel like, but it depends, because you could get a house that's like a lemon where everything is breaking down. The roof, oh my God, you move in, the roof is about to fall off. This is caving in. I can say with my previous owner, like he really took care of this house. It's an older house, but he really took care of it where he fixed stuff. He was a great handyman. The pipe that the roots is growing in, it's a new pipe. It's like not pipe. It's not clay. It's whatever else they call those pipes. So he really took good care of it. So I think it's all about the house that you get and the previous people, if it's not a new house.
Owners, right. Well, that's good.
Owners, like that's great to know the history.
That's good. And definitely to know people who do like, the handymans. You got to have them on deck.
I have them all in my phone saved. Like they know when I call, like, oh, it's you again? What happened?
Oh, it's you again. Hey, ladies. Hey, Danny. Hey, Farah. Thank you guys for joining in. Yeah, so good stuff. My weekend was cool. I had a gender reveal. I did a little thing for a friend of mine for her son over yesterday. So that was cute. I set up, but I seen a lot of people coming in the event, and I was like, all right, because this COVID is still real, even though everybody, getting their vaccines. I'm just like, I just can't be around a whole bunch of people. So I did that, and just still getting ready for my transitioning and getting stuff, together in the apartment.
Oh, because that could mean something else. What are you transitioning into?
You stop playing.
I'm saying this for the people that don't know.
Just getting my stuff prepared, ready to, transition to my new home.
Okay, new home. Okay.
Right, I'm just packing, little by little and throwing stuff away, stuff that I don't need. Maybe, bringing stuff to different shelters or Goodwills.
Let me know if you find people, because I got a lot of these heels.
Really?
I can't wear 5-inch heels no more, and I have so many heels to give away.
Really? Yeah, I think we should get like bags and stuff and like really donate to like, they got like shelters with young girls that really could use that stuff.
Yeah, so exactly.
I'm going to Google some stuff. I'm going to Google some places tomorrow, and I think that'll be dope.
Absolutely.
So we could do that. So you want to go into our first topic before our guest? We have a special guest coming on, an author, a bookseller, Chaka Adams will be joining us in a few minutes. But until then, we're going to go into our first topic
Our
of the
first
day.
topic, yes, Sharon Osbourne and Cheryl Underwood. Did you see like how that went down and how it escalated into her getting terminated or whatever? She quit or something. I don't know what term they're using for her, but she got terminated.
She got terminated.
She got dealt with.
She got dealt with. I did see the clip of it, and I was disgusted by Sharon. But Cheryl is the lady, the other lady. She handled it so well. Like I had to take notes from her because when I feel like I'm being disrespected or anything like that, I go to 100. I don't give a damn where I'm at. Like so to watch her be still and handle it with grace, and she spoke with her still with respect. I was like, go Cheryl. She did the damn thing. So kudos to her. But how would you have handled that if you were in that situation where she told you, and you don't cry? Why are you crying? I should be crying.
I would have laid into her with class how I usually do. Like, I'm not going to get all worked up. I'm not going to be crying. I would be just like her, but I would have like, I don't feel like I think she handled herself well as far as being calm, but I feel like I would have laid into her in a classy way. Like I would have let her know how you're being racist. I would have let her know like how I feel. Like I just feel like Sharon Osbourne was kind of confused, and I don't think like she knew what angle she was coming from. She felt like it was an attack. Like I just feel like she should have let her know, like communicated it more effectively. But I think they did. I can say they all did try. So I don't know what they could have done differently. I think I would have handled it like Cheryl. I wouldn't have been cursing her out and acting all like ghetto and like you're on a show, and Cheryl Underwood got to where she's at because of her personality, obviously, because of her class, and keeping it, 100 without it being like ghetto fab or something that the network doesn't like. So I would have kept it on that level. But I definitely think that it's Sharon Osbourne did not handle herself well. She lost complete control.
Yeah, she lost it. Now, my question to you is, do you think she's a racist?
I think based on her previous, if I didn't know about what she said with Holly Pete Robinson and about, you too ghetto, and then she's calling one of the other co-hosts or something slanted eyes because she's Asian. Like if I wouldn't have known that backstory, then I would say no, she's not a racist. She's not.
Right.
Like but now that I know that part, then I can tie it in like, maybe she's revealing herself. But I think with just this Pierce stuff and the Royals and stuff like that, I would think that she's taking up for her friend and she's defending her friend. Because I don't know if that's just complete racism.
Any of my friends that defend anybody that's a racism, I'm going to question. I'm going to question you. So, and I think that's what Cheryl was doing. Like she was questioning, like you're defending somebody that has racist tendencies. And I just want to question, like, you got to make me understand or prove like that you're not racist, because I can't be we can't run in the same circle. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what Cheryl was doing. She just wanted
to me, I don't know. I don't know if it was like racism with. I don't know if she was defending the racism with Pierce. I think with Pierce, she was more defending him being a friend. I think really the bottom line with Pierce, I think he was trying to get with what's her name, the Meghan Markle. I think he was trying to get with her. And he got let down, and I think it's his ego, and I think he's hurt over it. I don't really necessarily think it has to do with racism. I think he hasn't hurt busted ego, and I think he hates Meghan Markle because of that. It might not be racism. I don't have enough proof to stand on and say, oh yeah, it was definitely racism. It could have been she's just defending her friend, and he got a hurt ego. If your ego is hurt, I'm gonna defend you because I know you're a good person. I don't know what other stuff you went on behind the scenes with Holly, with all kind of stuff and him being racist. He might be racist. I don't know.
Well, Cheryl definitely handled that with grace. Kudos to her. I just learned something from her. And when somebody try to come for you, you just gotta be. For me, I gotta take a breath because like I said, I can go to 100, but she handled that situation with grace. So Cheryl, kudos to her. And I just hope the show goes on. And I hope that this will be a learning experience for everybody that's on that cast. Like,
but do you think that,
be careful of what you say.
But do you think that she should have got fired or terminated or whatever, Sharon Osbourne?
I feel that if she didn't have a genuine apology to Cheryl, yes, absolutely. And I don't think she did. I mean, I heard her statement, and I don't think that was an apology. Like a sincere apology. So yeah, you got to go.
And you got to have self-control when you want to platform like that. And she did it, and she showed her colors. And you got to be prepared for stuff like this. If you
got to take accountability. You got to take accountability. Your actions.
Yeah.
So bye-bye. Our guest is in the building.
Yeah.
We got Miss Chaka Adams in the building. We're going to pull her in right now.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just sitting here enjoying the conversation intensely.
Welcome. Thank you for taking time out.
Do you have an opinion on it?
I think in the climate that we're in today, it was inevitable that they were going to fire. Like she was going to get fired for it. I do think that Pierce had a crush on Megan, and I think and I think she shot him down. And I think that's kind of where it all stemmed from. And based on just everything that's kind of coming out now with her making comments about Holly Robinson Peete being ghetto, and just seeing when you look back at things in retrospect, you can kind of see just the way that she reacts to some of the things that they've said. And so I'm thinking that maybe there was some underlying tone. But like, how the hell can she be great? How can she be judgmental to anyone when you see her family? You know, like,
yeah.
Hey, you're married to Ozzy Osbourne. Like, come on.
How dare you?
How dare you?
The audacity for me.
Well, I want to introduce my sis, one of my closest friends. We grew up together. Our parents were best friends. And I just want to say that I am super proud of you, Miss Adams, Chaka Adams. You inspire me every day when I see you, you know, with the books and everything that you do. Is just motivating for me. And I just want to let you know that I'm super proud of you in all of your endeavors. And I want to introduce you before we start. Chaka Adams, best-selling author, pulls from her personal experience and perceptions in her writing. Her journey began in New York, straight from out of the Queensbridge houses. Ow. And this is a quote from Chaka. When I was growing up, my parents were heroin addicts and we were dirt poor. People got killed in the middle of the playground. I was just a little girl watching from the shadows. My only escape was through the world I created my stories. Chaka attended Temple University and landed positions such as the Fortune 500 companies. Through her professional career, her passion for writing remained dear to her heart. In 2013, Chaka finally decided to tell her story with her book novel, A View of the Bridge, and the follow-up book, A View from the Bottom. And Chaka is also the founder of Pretty Girls Read, an independent publishing imprint created to empower women to write, read, and communicate effectively. Come on, everybody. Let's give it up for Chaka Adams in the building.
Welcome.
Thank you for that amazing introduction.
Welcome, honey. So usually when we give our guests in, we have a little, let's get to know our guests. Okay. So we have 6 questions. It's a little light, you know, little light. So do you rather...
Wait, let me take a sip for this one.
Do you rather write books or do you rather read?
Ooh. Right.
Rather write.
I like to write.
Okay. Vaccine or no vaccine?
Definitely vaccine. Yes.
Okay.
Vaccine.
Good stuff. Chill, Netflix and chill, or out clubbing?
Out chilling. Can I say out chilling? No. Out clubbing. Out. I'm more of an out person. So it's this thing is messing me all up, but I'm more of an out person.
I know. Go ahead, E. You got some?
Okay. What did you want to be when you grow up, or when you was little? What did you want to be when you?
A writer.
Oh, you always wanted to be a writer.
Yeah, I did, and I used to like write books and hide them under my bed. And then my brothers and sisters, like we had a 2-bedroom apartment, so all of the siblings were in 1 bedroom. So I would just write and just put it under my bed, and then they would steal it and like go and read it and stuff. And then I would get like so upset and cry in the corner. And my mother's like, Chaka, that's why you write, so people can read it. And that had never clicked to me, but I've always wanted to be a writer. I think that's what I.
Okay, so you made it happen for yourself. Okay,
it took a while to get here, but I got here, right? So.
Yes,
you here now.
Okay, so what's the interesting quirk about you?
I'm petrified of squirrels. Like,
really?
Yeah.
Did you come into one bite you before, or what?
No. I think that. Well, it kind of worked to my advantage because I used to have to come in at a certain time and I would always be late. And so I would tell my mother, but it was a squirrel in front of the building. Like I couldn't come in. And she's like, Chaka, they're not out at night. But I am definitely afraid of squirrels. I don't know what it is. Like if there's a squirrel on the street, I won't walk past. I'll just stand there and let it do what it does. And when it leaves, then I'll come back around. But
you be like this.
Yo, like for real, I really do. I'm like, I can't walk past. It's a squirrel. Like,
oh my God.
If I was on Fear Factor and they were going to give me $1 million to go in a room with a squirrel, I would just leave. I'm not.
These squirrels are disrespectful around where I live at.
Disrespectful. They chase
biting
you.
Up. What? They biting up garbage. You would think like some Loch Ness monster or something was outside because it's like stuff is bitten up. My garbage cans, but it's all squirrels. But I understand.
And I think that's what it is. I grew up with project squirrels. I didn't grow up with suburban squirrels. Those are probably a whole different type of squirrel. I grew up with project squirrels. And those are like
exactly.
So it's like, nah, exactly. I can't.
Okay, so who is your role model? Or did it change? Or who was your role model? And did it change? Do you have different role models where it changed? Like who's your main role model?
I think it changes. I think that's a really I don't think anyone has ever pointed that out. Like your role models can change. And I think that in life, like we get so set on having one role model that we don't see that. Like as we're changing, we need to change what that role that we're aspiring to should be as well.
Absolutely.
But like as far as writing, Donald Goines was probably one of the most prolific writers I've ever read in my life. He had a book called Dope Fiend back in the day. And my parents were avid readers. Like they read everything. So I would sneak their books. And I'm like 10. I don't know what's going on in these books. They had Stephen King, V.C. Andrews, Jackie Collins, but they also had like hood books. So I would read this Dope Fiend book by Donald Goines. And, I would have to sneak it because it was just very, it wasn't fit for a 10-year-old. Yeah. But the way that he wrote it, and as I got older, and I it's still a book that I have now that I keep going back to read. It's just like his writing was so visual and vivid, and he didn't hold anything back. And he spoke in a way that, in a vernacular that people who he wanted to read his books could understand and relate to. And I think from a writing perspective, that's always been kind of like, that's who I'm chasing. Like I want a Donald Goines like stamp. I mean, if he was alive, a stamp of approval. So that's been a role model. I think Michelle Obama is an amazing role model for anybody.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like to stand with such class and just so much grace, even grace under fire. Like, I know about y'all. If I'm steadily attacked, I'm going to bite back. And her motto is always, when they go low, you go high. And I have to remind myself of that all the time.
Absolutely.
I be wanting to be like, I'm
taking it down to the flow. I do channel her.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So I would say those would be my type of role models.
Okay, you got through our questioning, but it was light questions.
I like hard questions. Dig them in.
Let's go into your story, Chaka. Take us back to when you were a little girl and you decided that you wanted to start writing.
Well, I think that writing is an escape, right? And they say that like writing is probably the loneliest profession ever, because you have to go into yourself and just be by yourself for a long time. But also gives you an opportunity to escape. It's like full of people, because you have to come up with all of these characters and all of these different things that are happening. Like, it takes a crazy person, I think, to be a writer, or writing makes you crazy. So when I was little, there would be so many things going around. Like, I didn't have, I had, my mother and father were loving parents, but like they had their own issues that they were facing. I was in the school. I didn't go to school with the local kids. Like, I was bused to a different school. I was the only Black kid in my class for years. So I would have to leave Queensbridge, go over to my friend's house, and they were like going on ski trips. They were taking us to the Hamptons. They were taking us to Tavern on the Green. And I had to like fit in because, I don't know any of this. And then have to come back home and then fit in there. So in order to kind of get through all of that, I would take everything that I learned from the various places in life and just start writing about it and just creating characters that either I wanted to be or people that I knew, or just writing. Like, that was my way of like kind of fitting in, because I never felt like I fit in. So I created my own worlds to fit into. And so then I started writing, and it just was like a passion. When I was little, like, you know how like you get these questions in English class and you got to read a book, and then the teacher gives you these questions and you got to like, write an answer. It's supposed to be like one sentence answers. Like, mine would be like a paragraph long, and the teacher will call on me to read it, and I'll be still reading. And, like the teacher, like, see, that's the way you should answer your questions. And that's kind of when I knew I had the gift to write. Yeah. And then I just, life got in the way, and I just kind of lost that vision and lost that passion. But it was always there. It took me 16 years to finish my first book. So if anybody's out there listening and, you have this book idea and you're like, dang, I've been writing this book for 10 years. I've been having this idea. It's never too late. Like, it's not a rush. It's going to take some time. Once you do it one time, then you're good. But, don't rush. It's going to come. So I think that, when I was little, it was just my way to create a world that I fit into. It was my own world, and nobody can take me away from it. I didn't have to pretend to be anybody else. I could be all of these people that I wanted to be, as long as I wrote about them. I created them. So I think I started writing because I just wanted to create a world that I fit into.
Wow. Good stuff.
So is writing, would you say that it's was it hard to find a publisher? Like, if I want to write about like just a novel or just my history, like, how has it been getting it published?
Well, that's a great question. I went through self-publishing because I, my first book is my language is hard. It's hard hitting. Like, it's no sugar coating. It just comes hard. Like, that's it.
Raw.
And when I had started reaching out, and I had been approached, I had a few offers for my book, but they wanted to change a lot of it. So they wanted to change a lot of my delivery. They, were like, oh, well, through editing, the sentence shouldn't be said like that. But I know the way that the people talk. Who's going to read this? Like, I'm writing the way, I'm not stupid. I know how to create a sentence. I know you need a verb and a noun and an adjective. I know all of that, but that's not the way I want to write it. And so I felt that I was losing control. And so to take back that control, I created my own publishing imprint. And I taught myself how to publish a book, how the lines should look. And if you see my book, like, compared to like a Stephen King book or like an official book, it's laid out perfectly. And that's not even to toot my own horn. That's just to say, like, I really just, took it upon myself to learn my trade and really perfect it and get it right. And then I kept all the rights to my book. So right now I'm writing a script. Those are rights to my book. Like, nobody can take that. I'd say that if there is someone that's looking for a publisher, make sure that you'll have to have query letters and send those out to different publishers, but identify what kind of genre they're looking for. So if somebody's looking for, you wrote an urban fiction book, you're not going to reach out to a sci-fi publisher. They're not going to be interested. So you're going to get a lot of no's, and that can be, really depressing after a while and demotivating. So just make sure that you do your due diligence to find a publisher who's interested in your type of books and who will allow you some control of how your books look, from your cover to the speaking engagements that you have to even like how your book is written. That's really important. Okay. But I publish books, so if there's anyone that wants to get about that, I publish books. I have three authors that I've published their books. And I don't do it in a way that I don't want your life savings. You know what I'm saying? Like, my joy is just seeing books. Like, I love literacy. Like, I love reading. And I know that, like, you know, people write because they can't say what they want to say. So I just love to promote literacy. I love to promote literature. So, you know, it's like, be careful with those other people because they are sharks, but Pretty Girls Read can publish your book for a reasonable price and, you know, just really help you along the way. My thing is, like, every author that I've published, I taught them how to publish. So they're second and third and you know,
they can do it themselves.
They've done it themselves.
Nice.
I don't need to keep the knowledge. You know, I can't die with this knowledge in me. I want to give it to people like that. That's how we move forward, you know? So I'll teach you how to do it. I'll bring you to the water and teach you how to get it out.
I was going to say, do you think, because when you say teach you how to do it, is it easier this day and age? Because I read that, like, a lot of people are, like, publishing their own journals. I know that's different from a book, but it just seemed like you can just go on Amazon and sort of, like, upload something and have people purchase it. Like, is there a difference between that and really publishing a book?
Yeah, it is. So you can kind of go on there and do that whole self-publishing thing but you got to look at the professionalism of it. And, you know, like, there's certain things that you have to do. You need an ISBN. That's this little thing back there. You need to have it registered. So there's certain things that just going online and uploading it, you can do that, but that's not the right way to do it. You know, if you're going to do something, just do it the right way. Do it. Just go all out, or just don't do it at all. Or you're just publishing something that you can write. You can open up a blog site and write that all day and keep posting it. But if you want something that's officially like my book is it's an official library. Like, you know, like if my book is an official book. But there's certain steps that you have to take to make sure that you're seen that way. And then remember, once you put something out and it looks a certain way or it's not formatted correctly, you can't take it back. So any other time, like, that's what will always be referred to when they say, oh, Lisa Smith, she's an author, she wrote Jack and Jill, and then they pick up Jack and Jill and it's like, oh, I don't want to read that. You know what I mean? And that's our name. So, you know, you just have to just look at what you're doing and make sure that you're putting your best foot forward at all times. You only get one chance to make a first impression. Absolutely. And I look at so many books and I'm
that's
like,
so true. You like,
who did this?
Now, in your book, The View of the Bridge, you in this book, you was very vulnerable. You like digged in and really got into it, told some truths. Do you ever go back and read your books after and be like, why did I put this in the book? Like, I was tripping. Like, I was too vulnerable. I was too open, you know, to let people in. Have you ever done that? Have you ever been there?
No. Actually, when I go back and I read them, it reminds me of how far I've come. So I actually really enjoy the fact that I was so truthful and vulnerable. And it's funny because, like, some, you know, like, as a writer, you want to continuously write, but you get writer's block sometimes. So, like, I'll be writing stuff and I'll read it and I'm like, come on, Chaka, like, this is just, what are you doing? And so then I'll have to, like, play some sad music, pour me a drink, light some candles, get some crying out. And then I'm like, okay, now I'm truthful in writing. But no, I think that for me, it's therapeutic because once you get it out, it can't haunt you anymore. Like, you can't haunt me about anything I've ever written in a book because I told you and I let that demon out. Like, so it's like, I think that just reminds me how far I've come.
I think that we connect more too with, you know, the authors that's being open and not ashamed to tell their story. It's kind of like, oh, she's been through the same thing or something similar that I've been through. And you encourage other people to be like, I need to tell my story, to release some of this stuff that I got bottled up inside. So kudos. I think when I read the book, I was just like this, sis. Me and Jasmine, we was like, we had to read it like twice. We was like, you know, because we had no idea. But so good, so good.
And what's the name of your book so I can put it in the chat?
One is called A View of the Bridge. That's the first one. You have to read that one before you read the second one, which is A View of the Bottom. It's a trilogy. So there's a third one coming, A View of the Top.
I was going to say, when is this third one coming out?
Well, I have this thing with 1, 2, 3. Well, 2, 3. My mother's birthday was March 23rd. My birthday is June 23rd. My first book came out on 1/23. My second book on 6/23. So it's a 23 thing for me. I think the next one will come out January 23rd again. I'm going to bring it back to the original and just get that out. I am working on a script, which is a completely different animal to kind of go along with the first book. So, you know, it's moving. I'm still writing, and I'm thankful that I still have that, you know, that passion and that drive to just get it done and get it in.
When you say script, you mean a play?
I'm writing a movie.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay.
Come on, sis.
Go on with your bad.
Come on, sis. Good stuff.
Yeah, I took some screenwriting classes and stuff like that, and you know, every time people read my books, they're like, "Oh, I can see this happening." And I'm like, "I can see it too." Like, I lived through it, but so I was just like, you know what? I just want to write a script for it and see kind of where it goes from there. But it's different because, like, in a book, I could be like, so she raised her head and rolled her eyes and da da da. You can't say that in the script. Like the actors have to know how to do that based on what you're writing.
Sis, I act a little bit, so you know, let me be in them auditions, okay?
What is your favorite? So let me ask you ladies a question. Let me flip the script on y'all. So who is a writer for both of you? Name a writer who you just really enjoy reading their book.
Well, of course, I love Obama. I've been reading her books for the longest. Cold as Winter. What is her name?
Sister Soldier.
Love her. Sister Soldier. I loved her books from the beginning. But it's another guy. I forgot his name. Go ahead, E. Let me look up him.
Well, I actually bought a few books that I have a list of books that I've been wanting to read during the pandemic, and I still didn't get around to it. And I know I need to get. I'm always doing stuff around the house, and I just feel like. Tell me what you think. What do you think about? Do you need the hardcover books, or do you still? I'm kind of thinking about.
If you say audio books, I
was about to ask you about that.
That's what people are doing now. Audiobooks.
I'm thinking about getting into audiobooks where I could be around the house doing stuff.
I get
cleaning and
I get it. I know, right? Forget Anita Baker. Let me throw on Maya Angelou audio.
You put it on a surround sound, and you can listen to it as you sweep in and vacuum. Like, I don't know. It's kind of multitasking.
Yeah. Okay. So the audiobook thing. So I guess I'm like a dinosaur. I just, you know how like before like social media really became a thing, and it started becoming a thing, and you're like, what? I ain't doing all of that, but then it became a thing, right? So it's like audiobooks. I've been approached to record an audiobook for both of my books, and I've been hesitant, but I know that I'm losing audiences because of that. My thing with an audiobook is like, I'll have people be like, yeah, I'm an avid reader. I read Odyssey, I read this, I read that, I read Harry Potter, I read all of these in a week. And I'm like, for real? Like, I'm so impressed. Like, you did all of that reading? They're like, yeah, I had it on my audiobook. And I'm like, oh, you listened to the book. You didn't read the book. Yeah, you listened to the book. But
it's definitely a difference.
Yeah.
My only thing with audiobooks is this, and I love them. But when I read, like, I want to take from it. Even when I do like a reading, like when I do a reading, because I'll do like, public readings or whatever. And when I do a reading of like, say my prologue, I'm going to hit on words that I want you to have a response to. So I'm basically kind of like showing you how I want you to respond to my book versus if you read it, you'll see things that draw you in, right? So I think I just need to get over it and just record.
That's what I'm saying. I'm about to go toward audiobooks because it's keeping me from really sitting down, staying still, and reading a book. It's really, I'm really behind in reading and keeping up with books. I have a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
I just need to just sit, but I want to
start
move
listening.
around the house and listen.
Yeah. Listen to a book then, because you know what, that might make you start wanting to read. Just listen to the book then. But my sister's an avid book listener. So you know, and she loves them, and she's like, "Oh, do you want to?" And I'm like, "No, like I don't even like ebooks, like books downloaded to like my iBooks. I don't like that. Like I like a book. Like I like the paper. I like I just
Me
like
too.
that.
I was gonna say that I wouldn't miss that because I like to highlight important parts to go back to.
Yeah,
my
me
little
too.
tabs on it. I will miss
Try doing that with an audiobook.
I know.
So my favorite author is James Patterson. I so love him.
Yeah. The Firm. He wrote The Firm. He wrote all of those books.
Yes, I love him. Alex Cross, love him. So love him. So oh
no, John Grisham wrote The Firm. I'm bugging. No, James Patterson. All right, got you. Yeah,
James Patterson. Yes. So
I did enjoy. Wait, let me just say my book. I did enjoy Piece of Cake. I enjoyed.
Oh, that was a good book.
I did read that. That was a good one.
I do like that, and I do like a lot of like manifestation books like that too. And I do like, to me, Michelle Obama's book. I like that because I like the come up books too, where you came from nothing and you became something, like, you know, the first lady and a lawyer and a judge. Like, I love books like that because it definitely inspires me. I will be reading your book and giving some reviews on Amazon because I think that helps out too.
It does.
Absolutely.
It does. Mm-hmm. Anybody who's out there, if you get a book, anybody's book, and you get it from Amazon, please go on. GoodReads is a really good place too. So if you've never heard of that, it's an app and it's online, but it's called GoodReads, and you can go on there and look up books. Ebony, going back to the Sister Soldier thing, I don't know if you know that there was a Coldest Winter, like the sequel,
the movie, right?
No,
right. It never came out.
It just came out.
Oh, it just came out. I didn't know.
Oh, yeah, she was all over. She was promoting it, right? The part 2. She's been promoting it a lot.
So
I thought a movie was coming out too, though.
No.
Okay.
Me along with the audio book for the second one. It's 6 hours long, but
6 hours.
Oh, we gotta cut that up, chop that up.
That's a lot of audio, right? But so she did come out with a sequel to The Coldest Winter Ever. I don't think that. Just look at the reviews. But that's what I'm saying. Reviews will tell you a lot that you need to know. Oh, yeah. Eric Jerome Dickey was a great writer too. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they got Carl Weber up here. Yes, Farrah be reading, honey.
I know.
I love to see it.
So, Chaka, what would you tell a young woman or a young guy that wants to pursue this, writing books and being an author? Like, what are the things that they need to know? And what are the things that you'll say that I did that don't go down this road because this ain't work? Let me give y'all some tools. What would you say to them?
Definitely write every day. Like, you can't, you need to, if you have a goal, like if you want to write a book, set words. Like, I believe Maya Angelou wrote 2,000 words a day. That was her goal. Stephen King was like 2,500 words per day. So he would sit and not get up until he had those 2,500 words. So I think that you have to come out and say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. This is, 2,500 words or 1,000 words to start. Like, you can't edit or you can't fix a book that you haven't written. So it could be the rawest. I write everything in hand. Like, I write everything by hand. I don't get on the computer and start typing. I just get a notebook. I have 1 million notebooks in my house. That's just like just writing, because I like to actually write, and then I'll go and type it. But I'll write as soon as I get off of this, because now I feel that bug. But I say just do that. And I say what I would say not to do is not to listen to people, not to listen to critics, not in the early stage. You know what I'm saying? Be very careful of, not everybody wants to see you do well, and not everybody wants to see you succeed. And some people can only support you to as far as they can see. So, a lot of people like, I had initially like, oh, you're gonna write a book? For what? And it's like, because like, this is my dream. Like, so sometimes you gotta just make less announcements and just move forward.
Absolutely.
If that's your dream, just keep doing it and keep writing. Write every day. You can write, you can fix something that's bad better than you can fix something that was never there. Mm-hmm. So just write. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to know how to format. You don't have to know how to do this and that. You don't have to do that. But what I do recommend is reading. You cannot be a writer. I see so many writers and authors, and I can read their stuff, and immediately I'm like, they don't read a lot. Mm-hmm. You learn how to write by reading. So I think that's what's really, really important. If you want to be a writer, a true author, and there's a difference between a writer and an author. Author is published. A writer is just somebody who writes. So I'm an author. In order to be an author, you have to read. Because you can tell when somebody doesn't read and they're just writing. Like, you have to read. Then that'll teach you how to write and how to.
What about somebody ghost writing for you? Because a lot of people will say, "Listen, I'm not a good writer. I don't know how to put words with, or make it sound good." What do you think about a ghost writer?
I ghostwrite all the time. I go through 3 books that I can't even name, but I ghostwrite. Okay. I ghostwrite. The only thing about ghostwriting is to make sure that you have an author that speaks your language. They got to speak like you. And so if you're going to go the route of getting a ghostwriter, you want to tell somebody your story, what you do is you meet with them, you tell them kind of what your ideas are, and you tell them to give you at least 1 chapter or 2 chapters. And so then from there, you can tell, all right, they have my voice. They know how they speak like I speak. They can do that. And then kind of go from there. And if, it's just look into, people can email me if they have any questions about like ghostwriting, even if it's not with me, if it's somewhere else, because I've seen people get raped for that. Like, it's a cost per word. Like, so just, be mindful of stuff like that. But yeah, if you can't, writers write. That's what we do. Yeah. But you might have a whole story that can really be, beneficial to somebody. So I'd love to hear your story.
So you already know we want to do. I know sis, your god sister, my sister was telling you about. We wanted to do a story about our family, the sisters really and brothers. And just getting us all together, we probably drive you crazy, Chaka. You already know. So we really thinking about we really thinking about. Hi, brother Tori and Trevor. They on here too. Thank you guys for joining. We really think it. We're not thinking we're going to get together and write a book. So we definitely had you in mind to sit down with us and stuff like that. So
I'd be honored.
Absolutely,
I would be honored. Yeah.
Would you write a book?
I don't think my life is like that interesting to write a book. Like, I would write it. I would write it on certain skill levels though, like where it would be like, okay, opening up a business or owning homes and real estate type things, and how is it dealing with little maggots in the hood or something like that, little maggot tenants, like, and how to overcome maggot tenants and stuff like that. Like, that's what I'm saying. I know, but that's what I'm saying. I would specialize it, but I don't think I have like a whole life story. It would have to be like little, things that I've overcome that I think it would inspire people.
Gotcha.
But it's not like major, but I do think I could help people with my situations, because when I was going through it, I wanted to figure out, like, when somebody was trying to rent stabilize my home, I couldn't find not one thing on, like, people that went through that, and somebody tried to rent stabilize like a 3-family, 2-family home and rent stabilize it into a homeless shelter. But that's how they try to oppress you a lot of times in the court system. So something like that. Exactly. And I couldn't find nothing on that topic. I would love to write something about that to help people in that situation.
Exactly.
That'll be dope.
That'll be dope.
So that's what I would write about, but nothing like, lifelong and battles and no.
So Chaka, give everybody books, absolutely that cater to your lifestyle, to cater to
Absolutely.
Chaka, give everybody your Instagram, the names of your book. We're gonna put it in the description as well. We want you guys to go out and support our sis and her books, her 2 books that she has out. And even you said they can email you if they have if they have questions about writing or just being an author, because we want to go into our second segment. We want you to join us. We're going to talk about absolutely. You're going to join us.
Okay,
So
let me just and before we move on, like Farrah just said, like she's on a breast cancer journey, so maybe she can reach out to you and tell you about her story, because she definitely, I'm sure she knows how, she reads a lot, so I'm sure she'll be able to use all the help that she can get from you. So we're gonna put your information down below.
Okay. Yeah, it's Chaka Writes is on Instagram, and my email address is chaka@prettygirlsread.com. So you can either email me or just hit me on Instagram, or I'm an open book, an open person. I'll give you a telephone number. Email me, DM me. I'll make sure that you have a number that you can reach me, and we can talk through it. Yeah, no problem with that. I love helping people. I just love it. That's how I get my blessings, so I'm good.
Absolutely. We're going to put Chaka information in the description so you guys can go and, if you don't get it right away, it'll be there. So let's go into our second topic. That's everybody is going crazy over. Derrick Jaxn.
Yes.
Chaka, have you heard? Did you hear about the news? I'm sure you have. Let's get into that.
Have you ever worked with him? Do you read his books or what?
No. And I've never watched any of his. And you know what? And I'm glad I don't, because sometimes I'll be like, come on, like I don't want to listen to all of these people telling me stuff about how's their home looking. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
How's your backyard looking? How's your front yard looking? Don't tell me about what's going on in my kitchen, and I can't even walk past your front yard without getting a whole bunch of junk in my feet. So it's like, no. I've never like listened to him on those little things or whatever, but honey. Yeah.
Let me just tell the people that don't know. Let me say this. Derrick Jaxn is a relationship expert who cheated on his wife with multiple partners. He just got called out, and him and his wife was on social media. He gave this whole apology while his wife was there. And my question to you guys is, do you think that we put in these men, these pastors, these experts, are we putting them on this pedestal? They're human, or are we going to give them a pass? What do you guys think? How y'all feel about that?
I could go first. I do think that a lot of people put these people on pedestals and forget that they're human and that they do mess up. Like, I just think it's like, but when you know that you're on a pedestal, I do think that you have to perform, and you do have to live up to that. Like, I feel like, if you're going to talk about relationship experts and you're going to talk about how men are dogs, and you can't be that dog. Like, you have to live your life a certain way. But unfortunately, we are human. It's just like I feel like with police officers, like, they are human. Like, they're going to go, they're going to mess up sometimes, but it's the extent that you in a certain position that you have to abide by the law. You can't be drinking and driving. You can't do certain things that I can probably get away with. It's going to be harder for you if you're a police officer. It's going to be harder for you if you're a relationship expert. We're going to have a bird's eye view on you, and you just you put yourself in that position. You got to live up to it, I feel. But we do fail at these things. It happens.
My thing though is that you have to have a conscience, right? How can they had him putting relationship videos up outside of the woman who he was messing around with house. They show that that's her house in the background.
Yes,
so
I just read that.
In the midst of doing dirt, yet like your conscience doesn't tell you, like, for instance, not to bring it back to me, but like when I and it's in my bio and in the book, like I did some drugs. I used to have a cocaine habit that was out of control. And I knew that I wanted to come out and do Pretty Girls Read and really promote women. So that meant that I couldn't be a hypocrite and still be out here promoting positivity.
Exactly.
And get off the line, and then I'll go and take a line or do something that is not conducive to what I'm trying to promote for women to do.
And that's what I'm saying.
You mean to tell me that you just came from laying and slaying, and then you're going to get on the thing and be like, so, you got to have a God-fearing relationship with a woman. Like, you don't have a conscience? Like, it's conscious.
That's my thing.
That's my thing. Problem.
My thing is, first, I've learned to don't put your trust in nobody but God, right? That's first thing. And then my thing was, all right, he cheated. I'm not giving him a pass, no means, right? But my thing, what disgusted me about him was that he's been on social media dogging guys, dogging men that he found out that was cheating, like just going crazy on them. But you're doing the same very thing to your wife that you've been preaching about, like you a hypocrite. So that's why I was upset. Like, what are you know what I'm saying? But my thing is, again, these guys are all human, right? And if you make a mistake, all right, I might forgive you, especially if we in a relationship, we're married, I might forgive you. But if you keep on doing it again, because it's a few girls that came out saying that he's been with them. You know what I'm saying? Like, when do women be like, enough is enough? God ain't tell you to be no fool, because the wife was quoting scriptures and scriptures and scriptures. But my mama told me, don't be no fool. And it's so crazy. Like, Chaka, I'm sure you can relate. Like, when we were younger, I don't know if you two, like, I only seen, I didn't have no positive, really role models of men showing me how to treat or how men's supposed to treat women. I seen cheaters. I seen my father, to be honest, go crazy on my mom cheating no more. I've been to my father's girlfriend's houses, my mom knocking at their door. Like, I never had a positive or a good view of a man treating a woman. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, when do we be like, enough is enough? Like, I'm not going back and forth with you. You keep cheating and cheating and cheating. Like, we're not giving, they're not being accountable for their actions.
Well, I think to me, I feel like I kind of like feel for the wife, because I went through her Instagram, and her Instagram actually reads like a book. She has stories upon stories about things that she's been through. And I think this is a case of like what you're saying, Ebony, like you didn't have a good role model and stuff, but it all depends on how you come out of that situation. Like, are you going to come out of that situation healthy mentally, where you're going to like not tolerate men and their BS, or are you going to be attracted to those type of men that your father was, and are you going to be like your mother? Some people tend to go toward how their father was treated their mother, and they end up in that same position. And I think that's the case of the wife. Like, if you read her Instagram, like I was going through it like one night reading like it was a book. Like, she, like, for instance, she talks about when she was 12 years old, she was young, and her father used to always disappoint her, and he had other kids. But he was always more loving and doting toward those other kids. And every time he called her, it was always an excuse, always like, oh, I can't come and get you. And the last conversation that she had with him was, I guess by the time I see you, it'll probably be when you're dead. And she was basically making a reference, it'll be at his funeral, probably the next time she see him. Wow. And then 2 weeks later, he died. She was 12 years old. And then to her, it was like she lived with that guilt of, she killed her father. She felt like she manifested that. She killed him. And then it was the rejection part of it. Like, she was rejected by her father over and over and over again by his other kids. And then she goes into, he's been cheating on her since a long time. If you go through her Instagram, but nobody really knew that was his wife. So you didn't really know to attribute it to that. But then she goes into stories about how she used to stalk the women that he would cheat on her with and try to emulate those women, put on the makeup, put on the weave, put on this and put on that. And then she said to herself, you know what? She just was done with it. I'm not doing it no more. I'm taking off this mask, and you accept me for who I am. And that's why she's starting. That's why she looks like she does now. Okay, and that's why part of me, she needs therapy still. She's going through trauma, and she's still going through it with her man, her husband. Like, so I mean, I feel for her.
She definitely needs therapy. I think that what people don't understand is like you have PTSD and stuff from childhood that you bring into your relationships and stuff like that. And I didn't know that about her, but when I saw her on live, and she had the bonnet, like, I know we all saw that she had the bonnet, and she was in there. And first of all, like, for me, and this, I know this is horrible to say, but like,
I just got
cheated on. Okay,
I'm gonna look my goddamn best.
I'm coming in like, oh, what?
No, but she's been through that. She did that already. What? She did that already.
But she should have did it this time, because that's the first time a lot of people saw it.
Exactly. But exactly. I said the same thing, sis. You ain't gonna get me caught slipping with a bonnet. Nah, I'm gonna be the best.
Because everybody who looks is gonna be like, yo, he cheated on that. Like, you know what I'm saying? But But that's my own insecurities, right? Yeah. So it's like I'm bringing that into it. But then after that, she did another live and she was like, you see the bonnet, it's a helmet of God's protection. And then that's when I was like, she's not right.
Yeah,
right.
Definitely.
She's a few sandwiches short of a full picnic. And I was just like, all right, something's not right with her. Like,
something is not right.
And hearing this, hearing you tell me this, I'm like, oh, okay.
It makes sense now.
It makes sense now. And it's sad because he's a manipulator. He is a narcissist.
Absolutely.
I feel like he knows his wife's weaknesses and he's playing against every last one of them. And that's so sad. Like, that's like the worst thing. Like there's this quote that says, if you can't love a person the way it deserves to be loved, like it's like a coward is a man who opens a woman's heart and he knows he can't love her the right way. And it's just like, he's playing her. And it's so sad because everybody sees it. Like, what? So let me ask you, why do men do that? If like you could, if you're not happy and you want to be fulfilled somewhere else, like,
then why you stay?
Just leave.
I always say that. But I think for Derrick, he knows who he can control. He he has that control over her, so he stays, right? So the next chick, like one of us, maybe he know he ain't getting no what? Like, we not having it. But it's some woman that, and I've been there before, so I get it. I understand that they know which ones to pick. They know our weaknesses. They know the right things to say to us, and we gonna stay. You know what I'm saying? I think we all been through it. We've all been there. But when do we break the cycle? That's my question. When do we break the cycle?
I think a lot of times like I said with her, I think it's a lot of trauma that like a lot of these people, they're crazy naturally, like because of the environment and things like, genetics and stuff like that. But I think a lot of times these relationships do make people go crazy. And I do think her past trauma compounded with what he's putting her through. I just think like she really needs some type of intense therapy. I think she's turned into God because of this. And it's a sad situation. I think he picked her. I think a lot of these men be picking women. Like,
that's true. Yes, that's true.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes, and I've been in bad relationships, sometimes you just wake up and you just be like, you know what?
I'm done.
I don't ever want to feel the way I felt yesterday. So I don't want to feel that way anymore. You have to remember what you deserve. And maybe that is like putting like, notes on your wall every day or on your mirror, like, good morning, you are beautiful.
Yes.
Like, you are strong. Like,
absolutely.
We have to start enforcing that to ourselves. Women will say the nicest things like, oh my God, I love your necklace. Your bosom looks amazing. Or, oh my God, like,
right.
But do we say that to ourselves?
So
I'm
true.
sitting here looking like, oh my God, my hair is like, I'm beating my, like, like we got to start looking into ourselves and start saying those affirmations and affirmations.
Absolutely.
Affirmations. Let's all do that. Can y'all do that for me?
We're going to do that.
I want you
but that's what I'm saying.
Next one, write a list of affirmations for women to say to themselves every day. I need that.
Every day. Stickers
and
on
that's
the
what
wall,
I'm saying.
Mirrors.
Yeah, and Ebony, Trevor's saying your brother's like therapy ain't the answer, but to me, it doesn't necessarily have to be sitting on somebody's couch. Like what you said, it's therapy.
Exactly.
Putting affirmation, self-therapy, reading a book, getting inspired, going out, doing the things that you love, and knowing that you can work better, especially if you have kids. Like there's other ways that's therapeutic besides sitting on somebody's couch.
And can I say one thing too, ladies? Where are her friends at? Where are her real good friends to tell her, like, baby, what you doing? Like, first of all, take off that bonnet. Let's get it right. And let's talk. Like, where's her good? No, I want my friends to call me and be like, yo, you bugging, Ab. Like, I'm coming over.
What I'm saying is that
did you see her two other videos?
I feel that when people go through trauma, a lot of times they throw themselves, like when you look at all of these religious people and they suddenly turn religious and they so deeply in a trance with it, like I feel like they have gone through something, whether it's overcoming drugs or something, and sometimes they be in such a zone, no matter how much you try to pull them out, they will not.
They're not going to come out.
Trying to see or what you're trying to tell them. And I don't know if she's like that, but it just seemed like she is definitely has going. Like I said, when you read her Instagram, you know when the switch happened. Like I was looking through it, and it was like it just happened. Like she was wearing makeup, and then it was like suddenly it was just like F it. Like you could just tell she just went through something and turned to God, and then ever since then, everything was about God. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
now, do you think she's showing? Do you think she's showing young ladies out there a great example? Now, I'm not saying that she's right or wrong by staying with her husband after she found out that he cheated on her with multiple women. Is she showing us, showing these young girls out here that is that a good example?
I don't think that it's up to her to show an example. I think I don't. I don't think that it's up to her to show the example. I think that, and anybody who looks at her and wants to have a role model or an example, like then they need to look within themselves. But I think that I don't think it's up to her to show anybody an example. How she's going to deal with it is how she deals with it. You and I might deal with it differently, but how she's going to deal with it like that, I think that's just on her. Unfortunately, they're in the public site. So yeah, you know, people are looking like, you know,
they're looking in her comments.
Then what's she going to do? Leave him, but inside she's still broken. But so now she just left her husband and she still ain't working on what's going on inside of her.
Inside her.
So she left him to make a point to the public, but she's not making a point to her personal self. So
that's why I'm telling, like, stay off of. So I don't even know why they on social media. Yeah, like get your relationship fixed first. And he making me feel like it's all about, because he just got a book. You know, he just put a book out, I think last week. His book just came out. And so I'm feeling like it's all about money with him. He ain't thinking about his wife. He's not thinking about her. Like, stay off of social media and get your life right.
I think he's gonna spend this into more money. Like, I don't know.
Absolutely.
And he's actually I believe he's gonna have followers. I believe there are gonna be those people that are forgiving, like, oh, he's not that, he's a great guy. Give him another chance. What it is.
That's it.
He's gonna have that target market that's gonna spin him into more millions.
Yeah. And if anything, he's gonna try. What's so fake to me is like, so now you're gonna try to be this amazing, wholesome husband to the wife that you should have been the whole time. And that's not real. That's you're just doing this at this point for your public figure now. So all the I love yous, all of my wife is everything, and now it's just fake. That's what I would have a problem with. Not all the cheating. I can get past.
That's what I said. That's what I said. That's what I said, sis.
I can. So,
but I do think that this might be it. Like this whole publicity and this whole thing being out on a public platform. Maybe this is the push that she needs to get the help, or for someone to kind of like help her and inspire her to move on. And she got daughters. Like she should do it not just for herself, but for her daughters, so they don't go through that cycle. I don't know what her mother went through, but this might be a cycle, and she needs to like get herself out of it. But I do think she's still in it. We got to check back with her in a couple of months to see, is she going to still be there, or where is she going to be at? She can't do it overnight. Some people can't when they got kids and stuff. So
maybe she'll write a book.
Yeah, I think so too. I think
that's what she need to do.
And that's therapy. That's therapeutic.
That is.
Yeah. There's different ways, I think, and that's one of it. And I pray for her.
My heart goes out to her. Definitely praying for her, because it could be one of us. You know what I'm saying? We you say this and I went, but it could be one of us. So my heart definitely goes out to her and family, and I hope that it goes well.
It has been. I've looked stupid plenty of times.
What?
Stupid just right across my forehead. Hey, stupid. Yeah, you know. I just
Facts.
Yeah, it's like, but I don't know where he's gonna go with this. I'm like, but the people that's gonna follow him is what I'm scared of. Like, I can't believe he's gonna have a whole tribe of people really still
following him. Absolutely.
Yeah, and keeping his whole platform of this whole self-help. Like, I think he's gonna spin this into how to get over cheating or something like that. Mm-hmm. So I don't know where this is gonna go. I gotta check back with them in a couple of months.
Yeah.
So let's pray for them. That's what we could do. All we could do is pray and hope that. I just think this is a learning experience for everybody that's, watching this story on follow. But let's see.
They had this girl, she was saying, like, and she went online or whatever, she recorded a message and was saying how, like, he berated her so much because she took her cheating husband back, and he was telling her, like, you don't know how to be treated like a man, and you're accepting less than you deserve. So, you know, it's just like, when you look back in retrospect, I think what this will teach some people is, like, don't listen to what, don't follow, like, you can't follow people. You know what I'm saying? You can't, like, nobody's perfect. So stop letting these people pretend, you know, what you see on Facebook and social media and everything, that's all filtered, whether it has an actual filter on a picture or not. It's filtered content. They're showing you what they want you to see. And so many people now, we measure our lives and we judge ourselves based on what we're seeing in a pretty picture. And that's not all what it's cracked up to be. You got to look at what the negatives are of that picture, not the actual film. And so I think that's what this will teach people. Like, what you see, everything that glitter is not necessarily gold. So.
That's so true. You seeing everybody life, especially on social media, it looks glam and it looks, you know, but not so much.
Put up a picture of me suffering. So anytime you see me, you're gonna be like, oh, you know, she's. You don't know. I've been crying a million times.
Exactly.
In my bed, maybe without $1, like maybe I just got beat up on my husband, or whatever. You don't know, because I'm not gonna put that out there. I'm gonna put out, that. I mean, that's what social media is about. I'm gonna put out good things. I'm not gonna put out the bad things. So stop judging your lives and letting what you see other people do and say affect what your life. Because
absolutely,
they could be living, not what they're preaching.
That's so true.
Not what you're seeing.
Absolutely, and we got to check back with them in this story and figure out where is this gonna go. I think it has so many different directions of where this could go. Whether it's making more money, she might come out with her story. She might try to manipulate us. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows where this is going to end up? But I'm going to be watching just to see I want to see what the trend is going to be.
But it's definitely right on point with what the trend. I think you're on point though, Lisa, where you think the trend is going. I think he's going to milk this and actually turn it in his favor, which sucks to me. But I believe that you're right with how that trend is going to go. Yes.
The last thing I heard was he was doing a book. Well, he had a book deal with TD Jakes. Yeah. So that's why he's talking to the mistress. I just heard that the mistress got a gag order on her, so she can't talk. And so I think that's why he really had that apology go out. He don't want to lose that money, that TD Jakes deal. Nah. So I think it's a whole bunch of stuff gonna come out with this. And again, it's just a learning experience for all of us. This is life, such as life. And we go through stuff. It's just how we come out of it. And so my prayers is to both of them. And
Okay.
Thank you, Miss Chaka.
We gotta all give our final thoughts before you leave and before we all exit. We gotta give our final thoughts.
Yes. So I'll go first. My final thought is you teach people how to treat you by what you allow, what you stop, and what you reinforce. That's my final thought.
Okay. Yes, girl. I hear you.
You teach people how you, Amen.
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 Okay, my final thought is based on, us having Chaka here and just life in general. And like I said, with therapy and things like that, I know you wrote your books and I'm sure that was therapeutic for you to be able to be vulnerable and get out your feelings. And I just remember when we had Farrah on, my girl that's going through her breast cancer journey. And I remember asking her, where do you think cancer comes from? Do you think it's the foods that we eat? What do you think? And I just remember her responding, saying that she felt that it came from stress and the things that she was going through, because at that moment she was going through a lot of stress when she was diagnosed with cancer. And I do believe that stress in our lives manifests into something. And I just believe that whether you suppress it, whether you not deal with it, I just think that there's ways that we need to deal with our stress and do the things that we love, whether it's writing a book, whether it's because it can manifest into a disease, it can manifest into high blood pressure, all kind of things. And we have to take it on and deal with it. Like we said with the Derrick Jaxn's wife. And we just need to figure out ways how to navigate life. And we have to, if we have breath in us, we have to be able to, sustain life and do the things that we love and do therapeutic things in life, and just don't let life, beat you up, take you out. You still got breath in you, and as long as you got breath in you, you can carry on and get through life.
Good stuff.
And that's my final thought. Keep pushing. Okay?
Keep pushing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Do I get a final thought?
Absolutely.
Okay. So my final thought, and I don't know if this is the right place, but my final thought is just one of gratitude. You ladies do not know, I've had the worst day yesterday of a lot of my life. And just coming here today, I was like, and just being here around such positivity, it really just brought me up. And so I think as a final thought, what it reminded me is that we need
each other,
people like you. We need women like you who uplift other women. Ebony contacted me, and I haven't done a speaking engagement or anything for my books in a while. That passion is kind of simmered, and this brought me back to life. And so it's just we need people like you guys to just continue to uplift and bring people together, and we need each other. And I think that as my final thought, that's what this meant to me. I'm in such gratitude right now. I'm just in a great place. Just after
thank you. That's so flattering.
And everybody, that's listening chimed in. And I think that, for us to get together and talk, that's so important. Just talking.
We need that. We
especially
need it.
in this day and time when there's not a lot of that, togetherness. So, my final thought is just one of gratitude for just you ladies and all that you do. You are the real MVPs, and I really, really mean that. And I thank you for everything. Yeah,
and thank you for your time. And just, I want to reach out to you too, even if, like I said, I don't have a life story, but I know I can give a story that will inspire people. So
absolutely.
I just think, we all can learn from you too.
Oh,
absolutely. Keep going, Chaka. Keep grinding. Again, you inspire me. You motivate me. You already know that I love you. And keep doing it. I'm ready for this third book.
Yeah, it's a good one too. Woo, it's a good one. I've been through some stuff for the past year.
Yes. This next book in the movie, we ready.
And we will put your information down below. We're going to have it. We're going to link it. So anybody that want to get in touch with you, buy a book, do whatever they need to do. Write a review.
Go support my sis. Yes.
You won't be disappointed. It's a good book, honey. Let me tell you, people read it in one day.
In one day.
Yeah.
All right. I love you, co-host. We heart you, Chaka. Next Sunday, 5 p.m., y'all. Join in. We're going to have some goodies coming up. We love you guys for tuning in. Everybody in our chat room, they loving you, Chaka. We're going to give you guys Chaka's information.
Thank you guys. Please leave a comment down below also.
Yes.
That helps us in being able to keep the algorithm going and being on top of this whole YouTube.
Yes, like the video, and share. Absolutely.
Yes.
We heard you. Love you guys.
Love you too. Take care.